Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A tributary of the Columbia River that rises in Wyoming and flows westward, discovered in 1805 by the Lewis and Clark expedition. A long faint constellation in the southern hemisphere near the equator stretching between Virgo and Cancer. A deceitful or treacherous person. A long flexible steel coil for dislodging stoppages in curved pipes. Limbless scaly elongate reptile, some are venomous. Form a snake-like pattern. The river snakes through the valley. Move along a winding path. The army snaked through the jungle. Move smoothly and sinuously, like a snake. Something long, thin, and flexible that resembles a snake. A tributary of the Columbia River that rises in Wyoming and flows westward, discovered in 1805 by the Lewis and Clark expedition. A long faint constellation in the southern hemisphere near the equator stretching between Virgo and Cancer. Greek mythology, monster with 9 heads. When struck off, each head was replaced by 2 new ones. Small tubular solitary freshwater hydrozoan polyp. Trouble that cannot be overcome by a single effort because of its many aspects or its persistent and pervasive quality. We may be facing a hydra that defies any easy solution. A deceitful or treacherous person. Hand tool for boring holes. A long flexible steel coil for dislodging stoppages in curved pipes. A long flexible steel coil for dislodging stoppages in curved pipes. Limbless scaly elongate reptile, some are venomous. Limbless scaly elongate reptile, some are venomous. A firework that moves in serpentine manner when ignited. An obsolete bass cornet, resembles a snake. A person who does harm to others. A tool used with workers' hands. Reptile having a pair of openings in the skull behind each eye. Reptile having a pair of openings in the skull behind each eye. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. The wrestler twisted his shoulder. A sharp strain on muscles or ligaments. Cause, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Twist the dough into a braid. Twist or pull violently or suddenly, especially so as to remove something from that to which it is attached or from where it originates. Form into a spiral shape. The cord is all twisted. Turning or twisting around, in place. With a quick twist of his head he surveyed the room. A miniature whirlpool or whirlwind resulting when the current of a fluid doubles back on itself. A circular segment of a curve. An interpretation of a text or action. To move in a twisting or contorted motion, especially when struggling. Extend in curves and turns. The path twisted through the forest. A hairdo formed by braiding or twisting the hair. The act of winding or twisting. A jerky pulling movement. Any clever maneuver. A sharp bend in a line produced when a line having a loop is pulled tight. An unforeseen development. Practice sophistry. Change the meaning of or be vague about in order to mislead or deceive. Don't twist my words. The act of rotating rapidly. It broke off after much twisting. Do the twist. Form into twists. Social dancing, in which couples vigorously twist their hips and arms in time to the music, was popular in the 1960s. They liked to dance the twist. Turn in the opposite direction. Twist one's head. The trace of a point whose direction of motion changes. Form a curl, curve, or kink. Turn sharply. Change direction abruptly. Curved segment, of a road or river or railroad track, etc. The property possessed by the curving of a line or surface. Bend or cause to bend. The road curved sharply. Extend in curves and turns. Form an arch or curve. Her hips curve nicely. A pitch of a baseball that is thrown with spin so that its path curves as it approaches the batter. A line on a graph representing data. Raise or haul up with or as if with mechanical help. Catch the scent of. Get wind of. A reflex that expels intestinal gas through the anus. Form into a wreath. Empty rhetoric or insincere or exaggerated talk. That's a lot of wind. Arrange or coil around. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. The river winds through the hills. Extend in curves and turns. The road winds around the lake. The act of winding or twisting. He put the key in the old clock and gave it a good wind. A musical instrument in which the sound is produced by an enclosed column of air that is moved by bellows or the human breath. Air moving, sometimes with considerable force, from an area of high pressure to an area of low pressure. Trees bent under the fierce winds. Coil the spring of some mechanical device by turning a stem. Wind your watch. An indication of potential opportunity. A tendency or force that influences events. The winds of change. Breath. The collision knocked the wind out of him. An aimless amble on a winding course. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. The path meanders through the vineyards. A bend or curve, as in a stream or river. Thread on or as if on a string. Thread dried cranberries. The connections that link the various parts of an event or argument together. He lost the thread of his argument. A fine cord of twisted fibers, of cotton or silk or wool or nylon, etc. Used in sewing and weaving. Any long object resembling a thin line. From the air the road was a gray thread. The raised helical rib going around a screw. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. Pass a thread through. Thread a needle. Pass through or into. Thread tape. Remove facial hair by tying a fine string around it and pulling at the string. She had her eyebrows threaded. Move about aimlessly or without any destination, often in search of food or employment. The wandering Jew. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. Sometimes, the gout wanders through the entire body. Be sexually unfaithful to one's partner in marriage. Might her husband be wandering? Lose clarity or turn aside, especially from the main subject of attention or course of argument in writing, thinking, or speaking. Her mind wanders. Go via an indirect route or at no set pace. After dinner, we wandered into town. Interlace by or as if by weaving. Create a piece of cloth by interlacing strands of fabric, such as wool or cotton. Sway from side to side. To move or cause to move in a sinuous, spiral, or circular course. Pattern of weaving or structure of a fabric. The activity of flying a glider. The act of moving smoothly along a surface while remaining in contact with it. A vowel-like sound that serves as a consonant. Cause to move or pass silently, smoothly, or imperceptibly. Fly in or as if in a glider plane. Move smoothly and effortlessly. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. The sole object of her trip was to see her children. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. It was full of rackets, balls and other objects. Be averse to or express disapproval of. My wife objects to modern furniture. Computing. A discrete item that provides a description of virtually anything known to a computer. In object-oriented programming, objects include data and define its status, its methods of operation and how it interacts with other objects. Express or raise an objection or protest or criticism or express dissent. She never objected to the amount of work her boss charged her with. Grammar. A constituent that is acted upon. The object of the verb. The focus of cognitions or feelings. Objects of thought. A plumber's snake for clearing a trap and drain. Any of numerous venomous fanged snakes of warmer parts of both hemispheres. Worm-like burrowing snake of warm regions having vestigial eyes. Mostly harmless temperate to tropical terrestrial or arboreal or aquatic snakes. Mostly harmless temperate to tropical terrestrial or arboreal or aquatic snakes. Any of various large non-venomous snakes that kill their prey by crushing it in its coils. Any of numerous venomous fanged snakes of warmer parts of both hemispheres. Any of numerous venomous aquatic viviparous snakes having a fin-like tail. Of warm littoral seas, feed on fish which they immobilize with quick-acting venom. Venomous Old World snakes characterized by hollow venom-conducting fangs in the upper jaw.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.